We were married for 31 years. I thought I knew her. Of course I did. We shared a house, a bed, holidays, bills, everything. And then she died. Quietly. No drama. Just gone. 3 years later, I opened a box in the attic and found her journals. And that was the moment I realized I'd missed her. Not just after she died, I'd missed her while she was here. This isn't a love story. It's a story about what happens when you think fine is enough. I was a numbers man. Spreadsheets, audits, planning. I liked structure, clarity, logic. Marriage fit into that just fine. We had routines. Mornings were quiet, dinners predictable, weekends were for errands. It worked, or at least I thought it did. We didn't fight much. We agreed on most things. And I figured that was a good sign, a peaceful life. But looking back now, I wonder if all that peace was just silence we both got used to. Maybe comfort became a kind of sleepwalking. I wasn't unhappy, and I don't think she was either. But not unhappy isn't the same as joy or connection. We kept moving in parallel, not always side by side, and I never questioned it, because nothing seemed wrong. And when nothing seems wrong, you don't go looking for cracks. She didn't ask for much, or maybe she did, and I didn't hear it right. I believed love meant showing up, staying faithful, paying the bills, being decent. I didn't understand that love also means noticing, asking, listening, not just when it's convenient. I thought being steady was enough. Like if I never gave her a reason to doubt me, that was proof of love. But now I wonder if she ever felt truly seen, if I ever looked past the surface, not just to check that everything was fine, but to ask how she really felt. I thought I was doing right by her, a reliable man, a good husband. But good isn't always enough, especially when it forgets to be curious, especially when it stops trying to know the person sitting right across from you. Sometimes she'd pause mid-conversation as if deciding whether to say something. Sometimes she'd stare out the window too long. I thought she was just tired or moody. I never asked why. I never pushed gently. I gave her space. I called that respect. Maybe it was fear. Maybe I didn't want to hear something I couldn't fix or didn't know how to handle. So I let those moments pass. I told myself it was nothing. She's just quiet today. She's just thinking. But maybe she was trying to be heard, testing the water to see if I'd ask. And when I didn't, she stopped trying. That's the part that sits heavy now. Not one big failure, but 1,000 small misses. All the times I could have asked and didn't. I knew she wrote now and then. I saw the notebooks. I never read them, not even after she died, not right away. It felt private, sacred almost. But part of me also thought, what could be in there that I didn't already know? We lived together for over 3 decades. Surely I knew her heart. I thought I did. But one day, I opened the first page, and what I found wasn't foreign, just unspoken. Feelings she never said out loud, questions she never asked me, regrets, doubts, loneliness, hopes she held on to quietly. Some of it was beautiful, some of it broke me, not because it was shocking, but because I'd been so close and still missed it. People visited, brought casseroles, said kind things. Then the silence settled in. I kept busy, organized the garage, balanced the checkbook, went on walks. I told myself I was coping. That's what men do. We manage, we don't dwell. But the quiet was different now. It wasn't just the absence of her voice. It was the absence of questions I never thought to ask. I'd sit at the kitchen table and realize I didn't know what she would have said about the simplest things, what book she would have picked up next, what she really felt during our last anniversary. I started to wonder how much of her I had truly seen, and how much I'd just assumed, and that wondering hasn't stopped. 3 years later, I was up in the attic looking for something else. Some old tax records, I think. Found a box labeled Emily, Private. I almost put it back without looking, but I didn't. Inside were her journals, some old letters, and a few photos I'd never seen before. Her as a girl, a teenager, standing on a beach I couldn't place. I sat down on the floor and opened the top notebook. That was the first time I heard her voice in years, and maybe the first time I truly heard it. Her handwriting was careful, her words even more so. There was a kind of honesty in those pages I don't think she ever spoke out loud. And the strangest part? I could hear her in my head, plain as day, but what she was saying, I'd never heard before. She wrote about feeling invisible, not in some dramatic way, but in the quiet, ordinary kind of loneliness that settles in when you stop being asked how you're really doing. She wrote about how she kept things light around me, how she smiled even when she felt small, how she didn't want to be a burden or start a fight or sound ungrateful. And the worst part? She never blamed me, not once, not even in private. She wrote like she'd accepted it, that this was just how things were, that I was a good man who didn't know how to see her, and she forgave that somehow. That broke me, because I realized how easy it is to miss someone who's standing. She had dreams, not the kind we shared, the house, the kids, retirement plans. These were quiet dreams, ones she never said out loud. She wrote about wanting to write a book, to spend time by the ocean alone, just to feel what it was like to be nobody for a little while. She had questions about her own life, not regrets exactly, just wonderings. Who would she have become if she hadn't always put other people first? And it hit me. I never asked her questions like that. Not once did I sit her down and ask what she wanted just for herself. I thought I knew her, but I only knew the version she showed me, and I never went deeper. There was this time, small thing, we were at a cafe downtown. She looked out the window, then just started crying. No warning, no big scene, just tears. I asked if something had happened. She said, "Just thinking." I remember nodding, then changing the subject. Talking about the weather, maybe. I didn't want to make her uncomfortable. But the truth is, she wasn't the one who was uncomfortable. I was. I didn't know how to be with her in that place. I didn't know how to ask, "What are you thinking about?" and stay there long enough to really hear it. I missed a moment, and now I'd give anything to get it back. That question haunted me. Why didn't I ask? Why didn't I listen harder, lean in, follow up? I wasn't cruel. I wasn't neglectful in the way people usually mean it. I just didn't know I was supposed to try harder. I thought if there were no arguments, no slammed doors, then everything was fine. I thought peace meant silence, but peace without attention becomes distance. And once that distance grows wide enough, you stop seeing the other person altogether. You start living next to them, not with them. I didn't mean to let that happen, but it did. And now the only answers I have are in her handwriting, when it's too late to ask anything at all. Reading her words felt like discovering a life I'd walked beside, but never really entered. There were no secrets, just truths left unspoken, quiet aches, passing thoughts, tiny questions she tucked away because I didn't ask. She wasn't hiding. She was hoping I'd notice, hoping I'd care enough to pull the thread, to stay with her long enough to reach the parts she didn't hand over easily. But I was busy being reliable, responsible, a good husband by my own definition. And in the process, I forgot to be curious. I thought love was duty, but now I know love is attention, And silence, even gentle silence, can leave a person feeling utterly alone. It started one morning with a cup of coffee, her journal still on the table. I opened a new notebook and just wrote. Not as a project, not to make sense of grief, but to say what I never said, to speak into the silence I'd helped create. I told her I was sorry. I told her I see her now, that I understand why she stayed quiet, because I never made it safe to be loud. I wrote about the cafe, the beach she wanted to visit, the book she never started. I didn't write to fix anything, just to be honest. Finally, it felt like holding out a hand, knowing she can't take it, but offering it anyway. When I see couples at restaurants now, especially older ones, I watch how they sit, the quiet between them, the way they fill it with checking phones or talking about nothing. I used to think that meant comfort. Now I wonder what's not being said, what's being pushed down or waved off. I want to walk up to their table and just say, ask her something real, not out of superiority, out of sorrow, because I know how that silence can harden. I lived it, I fed it, and I know what it costs when you finally realize the person beside you had a whole interior life, and you never really knocked on the door. I thought I was a good listener. I didn't interrupt. I nodded. I let her speak. But listening isn't silence. Listening is presence. It's hearing something that challenges your comfort and staying with it anyway. It's asking follow-up questions when part of you wants to change the subject. It's not solving, not advising, not steering things back to familiar ground. It's saying, tell me more, and meaning it. I thought I was keeping peace, but what I was doing was avoiding the very parts of her that didn't fit neatly into my world, and I wonder if I'd really listened, what kind of marriage we might have had. That's what it comes down to, I think. Every person, no matter how quiet, no matter how steady, wants to be known, not just appreciated, known, the details, the doubts, the dreams they've never said out loud. And the truth is, we can't always tell others how to see us. Sometimes we're just hoping they'll care enough to try. I look back now, and I see that I was managing a life with her, not sharing it. I saw her role, not her soul, and that's what I carry. Not just the grief of losing her, but the ache of realizing I never truly met the woman I spent 3 decades beside, and now all I can do is tell the truth, and maybe help someone else see before it's too late. If I could sit across from my younger self, maybe at 40, maybe 55, I think I'd say this: being dependable isn't the whole job. It's part of it, but it's not enough. You've got to be curious. You've got to show up, not just in body, but in heart. You have to ask questions even when the answers might scare you, even when it's easier not to know. And when someone you love says, "I'm fine," don't just take it at face value. Ask again, not in a pushy way, in a caring one. What does fine mean today? What would make it better? Because sometimes, fine is the last thing a person says before giving up on being heard. And if I'd understood that earlier, maybe I wouldn't be sitting here now, reading old journals like they're clues to a mystery I was too distracted to solve when it mattered. She told me things, in small ways, in glances, pauses, unfinished sentences. I thought I had more time. I thought fine was enough. But love, real love, is noticing. It's asking the second question. I know that now, and I hope maybe you do too. And if any of this feels close to home, maybe it's not too late for you. That's why I shared this, not for sympathy, but because maybe someone out there needs the reminder I never got. Love isn't just what you give. It's what you notice, what you ask, what you let in. If this spoke to you, I hope you'll take a moment to subscribe. These aren't easy things to talk about, but they matter. And maybe you know someone who needs to hear it too. A like or a comment helps this story find them. Before you go, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever discovered something about someone you loved only after they were gone? Or maybe, is there someone in your life right now you haven't really listened to in a while? If you're still here, there's another story I think you'll connect with. In it, a man named Thomas talks about what happens when you live your whole life trying to be the right kind of man and forget to be your own man. It's not a complaint, just an honest look at what gets lost when we stop asking ourselves what we truly want. You can watch it right here. I lived someone else's life, never started my own.